Hey historians, this is Miss V, and here we're going into analyzing primary sources. This is a part of your lesson for this unit, Historic Inquiry and Geography. So this is lesson 2. All right, so let's get going. So the essential question for this unit or for this lesson is, how can we use primary sources to understand history? How can we take primary sources and really looking at the details, understand historic events, right? And that's pretty much what we're going to do here, okay? So I have a target for you. There is something that I want you to achieve when we're doing this lesson. I would like for you, and I challenge you to try to be able to interpret primary and secondary sources successfully, not just analyzing them, but also being able to interpret it and how it's relevant to history, right? And if you need the help, if you're at a level 1 or level 2, that's fine, because I will be here to help and support you. Okay. And if you're at a level 4, that's even better. But try to aim for a level 3 and as interpreting primary and secondary sources. All right. So here we have Law and Order Special Victims Unit and a picture of something that says primary source and the definition, right? But what's the similarity between these two concepts? If you watch TV a lot or you watch Law and Order Special Victims Unit, you might see a similarity. So what is the similarity here? Well, the similarity here is that Special Victims Unit, SVU, and all of the Law and Order detectives use primary sources every single day to solve cases. Attorneys use primary sources to help them solve cases, and they use secondary sources, but they have to analyze it and then interpret it to make sure that they can give the full picture to solve the case, right? That is the same thing we're going to do here, but we're looking at historic information in order to solve or to understand an event, okay? So just like detectives, we're going to do the same thing. All right. So there's 3 ways to analyze a primary source. First, you want to think like a detective. Then you want to think like an attorney. And then you want to think like a juror or somebody that's on a jury, okay? And we're going to go through all those 3 ways and to understand how to do that, okay? So if you remember the Museum of You or the Museum of Me that you did in class for the first couple of days, remember that you had your artifact, which could have been a picture or something that you brought of importance. We looked at the details, we found out what it was, maybe just, when you had it, when you went on a trip, etc. We had to determine all of those details in order to understand the importance or significance to you or to me as Ms. V, and the theme and what it means to you. So by default, you are already analyzing primary sources and you didn't even know. But that's pretty much how you were able to usher in and have that understanding of analyzing primary sources. So kudos to you. So there are 2 tools that you can use to analyze primary sources. One tool is called TACOS, and the other tool is called AP Party. TACOS stands for Time, Action, Caption, Objects, Summary. Okay, so you're looking for the time period, you're looking for any action that happens, you're looking for a caption, meaning the words that surround that particular source, any objects that's in the source, and then you summarize the entire thing, okay? TACOS is usually used for political cartoons, photos, artwork, things of that nature that has a lot of action or objects involved in it, okay? AP Party is author. You're looking for the person that wrote it, place and time. You're looking at the prior knowledge. What do you know about this particular information? What was the reason behind it? the main idea, meaning you summarize the entire piece. And then, so what? That's the significance. Why is it so significant to this person or to this group or this civilization? AP party is usually used for text-based sources. So, for example, if there was a diary or a journal, you would look for the author, the place and time. You would try to read through to see if there's anything that you know about this person or what they're writing about before. What was their reason for writing it? Summarizing what they wrote and then talking about why it's significant to them. Okay? So those are your two analyzing tools, tacos and AP party. Okay? So let's practice analyzing and interpreting primary sources. Let's find out how to do it, okay? So step one, first thing that you need to do is to think like a detective. You have to determine the type of source. Is it a photo, a cartoon, an artwork, or is it text? So if you do that, then we know we can go to the next part of it, which is observing all the details and using the tools like tacos or AP party. So in this case, we have a source here. Determine what type of source is this. Is it a photo, cartoon, artwork, or text? In this case, this is artwork, okay? This is artwork. Now, determine, should we use tacos to analyze this or AP party? In this case, we will use tacos because it's a piece of artwork and it makes it easier to analyze, okay? So if we had to do this and using tacos, let's take the first part of tacos, or we could take three parts of tacos actually. Let's look at time, action, and caption, okay? In this particular artwork, we see that there is information here on the side. This is called the caption. So the caption states all of the information here. Now it also states time. So in this case, we know that this is pretty old. As you can see, it's kind of broken down and some of the color is missing. So we know that it's a pretty old piece of art, pretty old artifact. But because we have additional information here, we know that the time period is 275 or around that time AD. That means this has happened after the death of Christ or after the Common Era. Okay. So with that information, we also can describe the action. What's happening here? We see animals and we see like a person that's assuming to feed the animals, right? So we're taking all of that information and putting it together, kind of observing all of those details that we see here. And here's some other animals in the background as well. So let's go to the next step. The next step is to think like an attorney. So just like I said before, we take all of those details and put them together to figure out a story. We can also use our prior knowledge here to try to figure this out. If we're talking about 275 AD, the source says this is an early Christian mural. By that instance, we can kind of determine a little bit, well, if this is an early Christian mural, it's 275 AD, who do you think this person here is being depicted as? Or who is this person here? Kind of give a guess. All right, so if you said that it's possible that they're depicting Jesus here, then you're correct. Because here we can also look at the caption. If you understood or had prior knowledge of what the Good Shepherd is mentioned, then you know that this would be considered of Jesus. And it's pretty correct at the time period that we're talking about here, 275 AD, all right? Now we have to go to the last step because we're not done yet. We just got a glimpse of the source or the artifact. We need to dig a little bit deeper, okay? So let's go to the last step. The last step is to think like a juror. We have to make a conclusion. We have to make a judgment and take the story and explain why is this so important. So based on what we know so far, why was it so important for someone to paint on a wall, which is a mural, and paint a picture of what they felt Jesus would have looked like or is or considered the good shepherd? Well, in this case, because this is an early Christian mural, this is one of the earliest Christian murals. So at the time period here, it's very early in Christianity. So we're looking kind of at the beginning or the birth time period of how Christianity spread throughout Rome. Okay, because at first it was very small and it was very persecuted, okay, especially in Rome. But now, after the death of Christ, or after the death of Jesus of Nazareth, now this particular religion has grown and it's growing. So now more people are starting to follow this religion, okay? Awesome. So hopefully you are able to follow those 3 steps. And guess what? Dun, dun, dun. Congratulations. You have analyzed and interpreted a primary source. But we're not done yet. We're going to practice one more time just to make sure you get it. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.